Well, good evening, my twisted little family, and welcome back here to A Little Twisted Apothecary. Today we are going to open up a box that I got, and in this box, I'm really excited, are some of the items that I'm going to use to create that ultimate ultra travel altar, and then also the Warlock travel altar. So I'm kind of excited to open the box and see what we've got. So we're going to get into that. And then there's a few other things that are in here, but it's always fun to open things, especially with it being Christmas so close. But hey, this is not Christmas presents. This is what I can create presents and then what I can be able to offer to you guys. So we're going to open this box. Oops, excuse me. And we're going to get right into this. They seal this pretty well. So I do apologize. I should probably have opened this before we went live, but hey, it's all a learning process, right? So let's get in here. Ooh, I already see some stuff on top and I'm really excited about. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Yay! I'm sorry, it's a little messy in here today. We also have set up my photo booth. I've been taking pictures of products that I can get on my website. So that's been set up. So I do apologize for that. Looks like they sent me a couple of samples. This is cinnamon. I'm not sure which one this one is. It looks like a couple of samples of incense, but I do already carry incense. So I really like the ones that I carry because they're all natural, honey-based. Each stick will burn for over an hour. And they are on the website right now, littletwisted.net. Check it out. And you will be able to see them and purchase them online already. I've got those up. So what have we got here? We have some new Pendulum Mats. So inside the Ultimate Travel Altar box kit, that's my little one taken off down there. You're going to actually have a pendulum mat. So we got some pendulum mats that came in. So that's kind of cool. What else do we got? What else do we have? Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So all my pendulum mats. Were they all the same? No, I had a few different ones. Okay, let's go back here. So I showed you the one with the moon phases on it. Oop. So we have the one with the moon phases. And then I did get ones with a pentagram on it. So we'll have those in there too. So I'll mix and match when I make these altars up. So there's always something unique or different. So I have a couple of the ones here with the pentagrams on them. Since I couldn't fit mine that I make pendulum boards. Since I really couldn't fit those in the travel altar, I figured that this would be a good alternative. We have some with the Tree of Life on it. Make sure you guys can see that without the glare. Some with the Tree of Life. So those are my pendulum mats. Then we have some altar mats. I've got a couple different ones here. This is exciting. I'm going to open them up. I'll open one of these up. So you'll get this in the ultimate, ultra, the high-end, however you want to call it, travel altar. It's going to have a little bit of everything. So you'll get an altar mat. And I'm sorry, there we go. So triple moon with the pentagram in the center. So one of these will come in there. These are they're made out of a silk material. And then I also got some Tree of Life ones. So let's open one of these up. Again, remember, you can always follow us Facebook on A Little Twisted Apothecary, Instagram, A Little Twisted Apothecary, Twitter, A Little Twisted too. So we have quite a few mediums out there that you can follow us on, including, don't forget, our YouTube channel. Got to remember our YouTube channel and then our podcast. We're going to be doing a podcast probably next week. Get another podcast out. And if you're ever interested in either being on a podcast or you're interested in one of our YouTube channels and you want to submit some information or promote your business, please reach out to us. make sure you reach out to us, Heidi@alitletwisted.net. Email us, message us on Facebook. We'd love to have others come on and be part of this. So this one here is a Tree of Life. And that's another altar mat or altar cloth, whatever you want to call it. That'll be in the kits. This is really, really, really cool. I know there's a couple other things in here that I'm excited to get to, but you'll see them when I open them up. Also, you're going to be getting a large feather. So I got some here. This one's, see how big these are? These will go in there too. This one has the triple moon on them and they're purple. And if I find some scissors here, I can pull one out so that you can see it. Look at that. That will also be in there. This one has the triple moons on them. They're kind of stamped on the side, see it? So, and I'll make sure that all the feathers are nice. This one isn't as nice as I would like it, but I'll make sure that everyone has a nice feather in it. For the Warlock ones, which would be kind of cool, we're going to do a darker color. Here's the Warlock ones. And look, this one you don't have to cut open. This one has a little top section. I'll pull this out. These are red and black. These are actually really nice. Look at that. So these will go in to the Warlock ones. We'll make sure that we identify everyone, right? So these are really nice. These are the Warlock Feathers, red and black. So those will go in there. And what else do we have? What else do we have? So I have, this is Dragon Blood Resin Sage. This will go into the Warlock kits. That'll be a good one. And then I have incense. So I always put incense in the travel altars, from small, large, to the deluxe version, to the Warlock version. I always put incense. But in the deluxe version, I'm going to put some other incense in there. But in the Warlock's version, this is going to be charcoal that I put in there. So I want to make sure that, we're making it a little manly. So in the Warlock version, instead of incense, you'll have charcoal. This is actually kind of cool. So this will be inside the Warlock version of it. And it's going to be so neat. Once I get all these together and set, we'll create a table in here. We'll line them all up and we'll go through them again, kind of like what we did with the small and large version, but we'll go through it in depth with the new ones as well. So you can see everything that's in there. In the deluxe version, I'm going to be having the ritual candles. So you get different sets of colors of the ritual candles in the deluxe version. And you see that they're pretty good size. So what I'll do is I'll put the candles together, tie them up and wrap them in like a silk wrap or a bow or something. And you'll get multiple candles in the deluxe version. So those are my candles that came. This is so much fun. I love opening these boxes, getting to see what I can create, what I can offer to you guys, what we're going to sell, what we're going to do. Oh. So, you get altar tiles in the ones that I showed you. And I showed you I put them on birchwood, and then I put an insignia on it. So in the deluxe kit, we're going to have a little different altar tiles. Oop, did you hear that clink? Did you hear the clink? In the deluxe version, we are going to do these altar tiles. And let's look at these. Oh, they have some nice weight to them. So here is the goddess. Turn that around just a little bit so you don't get a glare. So that'll be one. I have, and I'm going to say it wrong because my mouth is watering a little bit, Skelly. And this one is wood. See how pretty that is? Isn't that nice? So this one's wood. This is wood. This is a pentagram one that's wood. So one of these, not all of them, one of these will be in that deluxe kit. And I apologize. You know what? That's what God gave girls nails for, right? So we have a wood one. It's a pentagram. So that can be in one of them. Now these are a little metal. And I thought these were kind of cool. And they've got a, hear it? Metal. So we'll have another one, pentagram, and it has kind of like a little sheen to it. So it's not solid black. It's got a little bit of a kind of a goldy, kind of flaky color to it. So we've got these. So those are going to be our altar discs. So much fun. This one is metal as well, the goddess. That'll be in the deluxe kit. Haha, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else do we have? What else do we have? So excited about all these. You have to bear with me. This is going to be a little bit of a longer live broadcast, but that's okay, right? Hey, what else have we got to do? Okay. So these are going to be in the Warlock kits. And in the small kit, there's not one. In the large kit, there is a porcelain offering bowl, right? So what are we going to do for the Warlocks, right? You don't want porcelain, huh? So what I found was this, and we are going to do for the Warlocks, excuse me, while I make sure all of the stickers are off so that I can show it to you nice and pretty and neat. We are going to put in a cast iron offering bowl for the Warlocks. Isn't that cool? It has little feet. It's a little cast iron offering bowl. So that'll be in the Warlock one. So these are really neat. Really neat. Can you tell I'm having fun opening up all this stuff? Hubby's probably going over there going, God, she ordered so much shit. Nope. I ordered what I needed. So that's another one.
I'm always worried about what the bank balance is going to look like after we get through with an order. But that's just my 2 cents. And the husband's back out.
Don't you just love listening to his voice? I know. I got to get him to talk more. So that way you can hear his voice. So let's see what's in this one. But the good thing is that he is fully invested in what we're doing. He understands. I break things down so that he's involved in all of it. He knows where the funds are going, what we're creating, what we're trying to do. So he's fully invested, which I like. So what's in this one? Oh! So we had Dragon's Blood for the Warlocks, right? Dragon's Blood smudge sticks. We have White Sage smudge sticks for the small and large. For our deluxe version, we have these flower smudge sticks. God, if you could only smell this room right now. So we have these flower smudge sticks, and you can see that they're wrapped really nice. White blessing sage with flowers. These will be in the deluxe versions. Okay. So that's what was in this box. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. What else do we have? What else do we have? Oh my goodness. I know what these are. We'll get to those in just a second. Okay. Ooh, what's this one? What's this one? What's this one? Okay. Small, no offering bowl. Large, porcelain offering bowl. Warlock, cast iron offering bowl. Deluxe. Okay, you ready to see the offering bowl for the deluxe? Ooh. The deluxe version will get a copper offering bowl. So you can hear it. This is copper. It's hand forged on the outside, but this is beautiful. So you can have a copper offering bowl in the deluxe version. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, so those are those. This is the incense. Oh, excuse me. It's a little difficult to get out of the box. Okay. So for the deluxe version, we are going to have incense. And I'm not going to just put 1 or 2 sticks in there like I do with the other ones. You're going to actually get a pack. And you're going to get Palo Santo incense. Okay. So you can see here, Palo Santo. And Palo Santo is a holy wood. So you're going to get a whole box of Palo Santo incense in the deluxe kits. So the deluxe kits. smells so good. Oh, this is so cool. Can't wait to put these together now. And then when I get them all together, we'll do another video and we'll go through them all. So these are so exciting. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, I think we have to get to, okay, let's see what's in here. Shall we see? Shall we see? Shall we see? Huh. So, these are really kind of cool. So these are our little wood boxes. These are not going to be with any kits or anything. They're just going to be available for sale. They have metal on the outside. And then as you can see, a little tight right there, but it opens up. And then these are great little boxes to hide things. They look like a little treasure chest, right? There we go. Little treasure chest. I love these boxes. So we'll have these boxes available. And then, apologize. Let's see if got this one here. I had to order a couple of, so these are the herb boxes that I was out of that I ordered. They will be on our website. I always have them available whenever we do an event because they sell very, very well. But we'll make these available on the website as well. And these here, excuse me, this is the Tree of Life herb box. So I love these because they have such detail to them. And I apologize. Make sure the door shuts. So this is the Tree of Life. You can see there's one right here on the front. And then that was cute, right? There's one right here on the top. And as you can tell, there's a drawer right here. Hold on. Got to get the drawer. Okay, got the drawer. So the top opens, as you can see, and I'm going to hold that drawer so that it doesn't fall open. So the top opens. That's just a little, keeps it fresh. These are all made out of wood, hand carved. It has a drawer. Okay, so you got your little drawer here. And then it also has this door that opens up with this little latch. So I don't know if you can see the latch that is right here by my thumb. But the drawer opens up, door opens up like this. So you have some stash place. And then as I get that out of the way, it hooks right there. There we go. So it hooks right onto the top. Okay. So it's a Tree of Life. It's on all the sides except for the back. But it's on both sides. It's on the top and it's on the front. So my Tree of Life boxes. Okay. So I think that was the major things that were in this kit. So I had all the boxes. I had the offering bowls, the two different ones, the copper and the, oh my goodness, the copper and the cast iron. Oh, here's another thing that'll be in the deluxe kit. Okay, so my large version has a little brass bell in it. It's not very big. In the deluxe version, you're going to get a brass bell. And they're all kind of different. So let's open this up and see what we got. Haha. Oh, these are cute. So each one will get a bell. Oh, nice. Oh, and they're carved. Hear that? And you can almost kind of see the carving on there. I know it's a little hard on the video, but you can almost see the carving. So this will go into the deluxe travel altar kits. My grandmother used to love bells. She had bells everywhere. So we have a few different sizes and shapes. And I'll be, kind of going through them. And so we have that one I just showed you. Here's a couple more. I haven't taken them out of the plastic yet. A little bit different shapes. This one's kind of got little ridges on the outside. So each of the deluxe kit will have a altar bell. And let's make sure that I don't have anything else that's interesting in here. I think that was it. Yep, these are all of my other ones. Okay, so let's kind of recap. Let's put this box down out of my way so we can kind of recap what we got going on. Okay, so for our new travel altars, this is most of my stock. For that, we will have the bells. Okay, so I'll go through and unwrap all my nice little bells. You'll have a big bell inside your kit for the deluxe. You'll have a packet of Palo Santo incense. This is a very great incense. You can see it's a pretty large packet here. You'll have a larger feather that we'll put in there. So you can see, have a larger feather for smudging. Everybody's going to have a feather for smudging. For the large one, you'll have the copper offering bowl. And for the Warlock, we'll have the cast iron. So we'll get that one done. You'll have the Dragon's Blood resin sage smudge sticks for the Warlocks. And then for the deluxe, we'll have the one that's wrapped with flowers and eucalyptus actually too. Oh my gosh. I just wish you could smell this. I don't even know how to say it. For the deluxe version, you'll have an altar disc. It'll be one of these altar discs that I'll put in there. And I'll mix, they'll all be mixed up. So you'll have an altar disc. You'll have the candles. You get a candle in each one, all colors. All the colors I have, you'll get that. In the Warlocks, instead of incense, you can have your charcoal. Okay, so you can burn your charcoal. And then the Warlocks will also have the red and black feathers. And in the deluxe version, you'll have one of the things, one of the different altar cloths, and you'll also have a pendulum mat. Because in the deluxe version, you're going to get a large pendulum. So we'll have that set for you. The other thing, and I almost forgot about, and it's already come in, so let me get it off my shelf over here. You're going to get a ceremonial knife. Sorry, my back's to you. In the Warlock's version and in the deluxe version, you'll get a ceremonial knife. Okay, so we have these great knives, and they had already come in. In the Warlock version, it's going to be this black one, and I will show this to you. Okay, so it's going to be this black knife. Now I want to make sure that you guys are very careful when you order one of my kits and you get a knife. All sides are sharp. This has a tip protector on it right now so that you can't cut yourself with a tip, but all the sides are extremely sharp. So you'll get one of these in the Warlock version will be this black one. Okay, and in the deluxe version, we don't want to leave deluxe out, right? You will get one of these rainbow ones. So you see how the blade is a rainbow? Again, blade, all sides to sharp. Tip protector so you don't cut yourself on the tip. But you'll get one of these in the altar kit as well. So, what have we gone through? Everything that we've unpacked today. I do have another box coming. Hubby knows, but he's just closing his ears so he doesn't know. So we'll go through those, but we're going to put these kits together. I'll lay them out. I'll show you the small, large, deluxe, and Warlock version. We'll get them all on the website, alittetwisted.net, and we'll get them all posted on all of the other social media, Instagram, alittetwisted.apothecary, my Twitter, alittetwisted2, the YouTube, which I can't, tell you. Is YouTube a little twisted?
You just search A Little Twisted Apothecary on YouTube and you will find it right there. See? Please subscribe and like.
Get that voice. I get that voice again. Podcast, I can't tell you the web link on podcast.
You will find our podcasts on Buzzsprout. So if you're a podcast user, go to buzzsprout.com and again, just search A Little Twisted Apothecary. Or you can find our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Google and any other of the big players that host podcasts. So just search A Little Twisted Apothecary and you will find us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
That's cool, huh? So see, I got him to talk more. Okay, so you'll find all those things. So our next show will be putting together all of my stuff. I'm not going to actually put it together online on air. I'll have it all laid out to show you how it's put together, because I'll be running around trying to grab things and do my stuff, and it'll get a little messy if I try to do that online. But that's kind of what we got today. So this is the box we opened. I hope you enjoy, spending a little bit of time with us, going through some of the things that we're going to do, our new events. We do have an event at the end of January in Turlock, California. Follow us on Facebook. It's listed there. It is a holistic expo. That'll be in Turlock. And then we have another event in February. So we're going to start having events again. But please make sure you follow us on all of our stuff. Forward it, like it, do all the good things. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway on one of my hand-knotted semi-precious collars. Some of you don't know what a collar is. Some of you do know what a collar is. But we're going to do a giveaway. Here is an example of one of my collars. And this one happens to have earrings with it. So this is one of my collars. This is black moonstone. I know it doesn't look very black, but it is black moonstone. It is semi-precious stones all the way around, hand knotted, double threaded. Even the earrings are the black moonstone. Comes with a lock and then a key on a keychain. This is not the one that's going to be raffled off or given away, but this is an example of a collar. We will give these away. And as you can see, it goes all the way around. I want to make sure you know that it goes all the way around. So you get it on by unlocking the lock and then put it on. You can either wear it this way, you can wear it with the lock behind you, but we'll be doing a giveaway. We're going to start with Facebook. We're going to list it on Facebook. If you like our page, make a comment, share. Depending on how many times you do those things will depend on how many raffles you get in for the drawing.
Yeah. What's going to happen is every time you're going to like the post that you're going to see in the coming days for the giveaway, you're going to like that post, then you're going to share that post, and then you're going to make sure that you like us on the Facebook page, A Little Twisted Apothecary. So you do those three things, and that is one draw.
So, and then if you share it, that's an extra draw.
That's correct. The more times you share it, every time you share it across platforms, that's an extra drawing.
Yep. So we'll be doing that shortly. And then once that is done, we'll probably keep it up for a couple weeks so that makes sure that we get some traction and momentum on it. Once it's done, we'll do a live drawing. So that makes sure that everybody knows that we're on the up and up. We'll do a live drawing and to see who the winner is. So that's what we're going to end up doing coming up not too long, but look for it. Okay. Make sure you look for it. Little Twisted Apothecary on Facebook. That being said, I think that's kind of our show for tonight. I had some amazing things that I got to open up. I got to share with you guys. You got to see some of the stuff that's going to go into these new altars. It's really exciting. And I'm excited to be able to talk to you guys. So please comment, like, do all the loves, show us the loves, show us a Little Twisted family out there. We'd love to hear from you. Again, have a great night and thanks for watching. Mwah! Blessed be.